Hello students, welcome to the e-learning program initiated by Shri Gyanmanjari Vidyapeeth for the students of Standard 8th. Nice to see you once again in today's social science lecture for semester 1. In the last lecture we had introduced ourselves to the second chapter, that is what is around us. As you can see the name being displayed on the board. In the last lecture we read from the content that we have in the material that Dhanvin, who was roaming in the garden with his mother, was curious to know about what earth is made up of. So he wanted to know that what land contains or what is the earth made up of. To satisfy his curiosity, mother tries to counter question and then she provides information which we also understood. Well, as discussed earlier, the chapter contains 4 important parts. That is, the earth is made up of 4 different spheres which we discussed in the last lecture. I will write these names on the board, and we learned about the first sphere out of the 4 spheres, that is the lithosphere, the hydrosphere, the atmosphere and the biosphere. So we came to know that earth is made up of 4 spheres, namely the lithosphere, we understood about lithosphere that lithosphere can be separated into 2 parts. It is a compound word. Litho means rocky and sphere means the layer of rocks. Therefore, the layer of rock means lithosphere. We acknowledged ourselves with this in the last lecture. We have 3 more spheres to read and understand about, that is hydrosphere, the atmosphere, and the biosphere. As told to you earlier that lithosphere is the sphere of rocks. We will be learning about hydrosphere in our discussion today, but before we get into the details about hydrosphere and read from the content provided to us, we need to recapitulate what we learned about lithosphere. So have a look at your screens, the image being displayed to you, giving you some additional information about the lithosphere. We learned that the earth or the land that we talk about is not the same everywhere. It is different in places. So here is an image giving us some information about the major landforms of the earth. So we will discuss about this, read about this in a bit of a details. The surface of the earth is uneven. Some parts may be rugged and some flat. Rugged means uneven or rough. Therefore it is called rugged. And some places are very, very flat. The earth has an immeasurable variety of landforms. So there are different landforms on the earth. You must have observed this when you travel across the city of Bhavnagar, or you go to different places in India, or even if you want to the other parts of the world. The land is not the same everywhere. If you've gone to the northern part of the country, you will find hilly areas. Whereas if you go to the Rajasthan side, you will find desert regions over there, isn't it? So we have different landforms. Now these landforms are a result of 2 processes, and they are the internal process and the external process. Now what is this internal process? The internal process leads to the upliftment and sinking of the earth's surface. So what is happening gradually as time is passing by? We understood about the cooling of the part of the sun that got detached from it, and gradually the earth came into existence. So the internal process leads to the upliftment and sinking of the earth's surface. So at places you will find that earth is uplifting, it is coming up when a volcanic eruption or something takes place. It happens also in the water bodies. That is the reason islands are formed. Or the external process, it is the continuous wearing down and rebuilding of the land surface, and includes 2 more processes, namely erosion and deposition. Well, the word is very simple and easy for you to understand. Erosion means something gets eroded away, washed away, carried away. It is the wearing away of the earth's surface. When we experience heavy rainfall, what happens? The water carries away the topmost soil along with it and dumps it somewhere else. So it gets deposited in some other place. So erosion and deposition are the two phenomena or processes that takes place, while the external process of the wearing out of the land takes place, or the rebuilding of the land takes place. Well, the erosion and deposition processes are carried out by running water, ice and wind. So the three components or the three things responsible for the erosion or the deposition process taking place are the three elements that is present on the earth, that is namely water, ice and wind. Well, landforms can be grouped based on the elevation and slope they are. So we can categorize or we can group the different landforms on the basis of the elevation. I hope you understand elevation, the raised portion of some part. So the land could be either raised, elevated, or it could be slopy. You may feel sometimes in some places when the road is going downwards, or in the other side if you are climbing it will be upwards. So it could be the elevation or the slope. On the basis of this we can group the different landforms, and we learned earlier also in our text that it is the mountains, plateaus, plains. So in some places the landform is mountainous, in some places it is a raised platform which is then flat, and we have the plain areas. Well, in addition to, I can say, we have coastal areas also. Let us talk about each one of them in details. Talking about the mountains, as you can read from the image being displayed to you, any natural elevation of the earth's surface is called a mountain. See, the emphasis is on the word natural over here. It is not that you build up something and then you say it is mountain. No, you don't build that. If you build a surface which is elevated, it is not a mountain. So the word is very important. Any natural elevation by nature, if something has happened and it has taken the form or the shape of something elevated height or something, then we say it is a mountain. It could be a small one, it could be a hill also. Any natural elevation of the earth's surface is called a mountain. That's the basic definition. Range or glaciers. So we got two types over here, mountain ranges or it could be glacier. Glacier is the mountain that is created due to the formation of the ice. So mountains arranged in a line. So when mountains are arranged in a line in a row, we refer that to as mountain range. Glaciers are permanently frozen rivers of ice in the mountains. So when it rains on the elevated places on the mountains, and due to the cold winds blowing over there, what happens? The water that has fallen over there as a part of rain on the mountains gets frozen, highly frozen, and they remain frozen permanently. Or the rivers that you see flowing down from the mountain. So these are called glaciers. So glaciers are permanently frozen rivers of ice in the mountains. There are three types of mountains, and they are fold mountains, block mountains and volcanic mountains. Well, the details of each one of them has been given to us. The fold mountains are rugged, relief and high conical peaks. So they are very, very conical. They are highly pointed peaks. For example, the Himalayan mountains and the Alps, they are young fold mountains. The Aravalli range in India is the oldest fold mountain system in the entire world. The Appalachians in the North America and the Ural mountains in Russia, very old fold mountains. So we have information about young, old, oldest and very old fold mountains of the world. Next is the block mountains, created when a large mass of land is broken and displaced vertically. So when a big piece of land gets detached from its original piece of land and then falls down and stays over there in a vertical form, in a very straight high form, we say it is a block mountain. So this is not a natural, it is created naturally by the breaking of a big land piece and then becoming a mountain. The Rhine Valley and the Vosges mountain in Europe are the examples of block mountains. The volcanic mountains are formed due to volcanic activity. Well, you must have learnt about volcanoes in the earlier classes too. When the inside or the internal magma or the lava which is present beneath the or in the center of the earth, when comes out with great pressure and force and breaks open the crust and flows out on the surface of the earth, and due to the continuous flowing and the gathering of such molten lava on the surface of the earth, a big hillock is created, a hill is created, a hill-like structure is created. This formation takes the shape of a mountain, and this kind of a mountain is called the volcanic mountain. We have an example for this, the Mount Kilimanjaro in Africa and the Mount Fujiyama in the Japan are the two mountains which are formed due to volcanic activities. This is not a mountain that is created by itself due to any kind of rock breaking, but it is due to the inside of the earth being thrown out by the earth. Well, so these were the three types of mountains that are created: fold mountains, block mountains and volcanic mountains. Let us see the usefulness of the mountains. Well, mountains are very useful in various ways. They are the storehouse of water, and many rivers have their basis in the glacier in the mountain. So many rivers which originate from the mountains. Well, the river Ganga is a very famous example, we can say. The river Ganga originates from the mountains in the Himalayas. So they are the storehouse of water, and many rivers have their basis or their origin in the glaciers in the mountains. Reservoirs are made and water is harnessed or stored for the use of the people. So they are a great source of saving water or storing water for the future needs when there is scarcity of water. Therefore, reservoirs are made, dams are constructed, and water is harnessed, water is kept on hold for the use of people. Water from mountains is also used for irrigation and generation of hydroelectricity. So the water that we receive from the mountains, which flows down from the mountains, plays a very vital role in irrigating the land, cultivating the land where water is required for irrigation purpose. So directly water can be procured, obtained from the mountain in a very natural manner. And generation of hydroelectricity. So the falling water or the flowing of the water gives it a momentum where turbines can be connected or can be installed over there, and due to the moving of the turbine because of the force of the water, electricity can be generated. So the water flowing down from the mountain or mountains serve as a usefulness for the generation of hydroelectricity. Mountains have a rich variety of flora and fauna. Now you must be knowing what is flora and fauna. The different types of beautiful flowers, plants that you see growing on the top of the mountains is a scenic beauty, is a matter of scenic beauty. Therefore, mountains have a rich variety of flora and fauna. You will find all unique kinds of flowers which give beauty to your eyes, which have unique fragrance in it. So different flowers and plants grow on these mountain ranges or mountains. Some of these mountains, some of these flowers and flora and fauna which grow over there have many medicinal purpose also, medicinal use also. So they are quite scarce and therefore they are in high demand also. So there are different flora and fauna which grow on the mountain, and therefore mountains are very useful to people. The forests provide fuel, fodder, shelter and other products like gum, resins, etc. So this is also one of the important usefulness of the mountains. The forest that is grown over there naturally, they provide us fuel, isn't it? The big trees that grow over there, they provide wood, timber and many other things. Not only that, the grazing animals over there, so it provides fodder. The grass, the wild grass that grows over there on the mountains is a good source of fodder for the animals that roam around over there or live over there. So easily they are able to get their food over there. Shelter. So mountains serve as a great shelter also, isn't it? And other products like gum, resins, all this you get from the plants that grow on these mountainous forests over there. Finally, mountains also provide a tranquil sight for tourists. So a mesmerizing that gives you a great feeling. So it's about scenic beauty, the beauty of nature. So tranquil means something that you get engrossed into, something that attracts you a lot. Tranquilizing, mesmerizing, something that's really beautiful and you say wow. So mountains also provide tranquil sight for tourists. So many tourists are attracted and therefore they go to the mountainous areas, regions to see the beauty of the nature. Well, this was all about the landform mountains. Let us see the next landform, that is plateaus. A plateau is an elevated flat land, as told to you earlier, a land which is raised and then it is that it is flat on the top is called a plateau. So it is the flat topped table land standing above the surrounding area. It is above the sea level. So a land which is raised above the sea level and it is flat on the top. Such a form of a land is called plateau. We have examples for that. The Deccan Plateau in India is one of the oldest plateaus. The Western Plateaus of Australia, the East African Plateau in Kenya, the Tanzania and Uganda, the Tibet Plateau, the highest plateau in the world. So all these are examples of plateaus, that is raised flat land above from the sea level. Let us now understand about the usefulness of plateaus, just like we understood about the usefulness of the mountains. Well, plateaus are very useful as they are rich in mineral deposits. So we find a number of useful minerals that are used by human beings. Example, the African plateau is famous for gold and diamond mining. So one of the most precious, valuable and a mineral which is in great demand around the year since we have explored this. So African plateau is famous for gold and diamond mining. A lot of diamond mining and gold mining activities are done in these plateaus. Chota Nagpur Plateau in India is a huge reservoir or a reserve of iron, coal and manganese. So iron, coal and manganese is available in abundance in a lot of quantity in Chota Plateau. So you see, these are very important and useful minerals. We very well acknowledge this, that iron is used extensively in construction works and other requirement. So coal and manganese are also equally important in our life, isn't it? So all this is procured and found from the Chota Nagpur Plateau. Therefore, plateaus play a significant role in the usefulness to human beings. Let's read about the next landform, that is plains. Plains are large stretches of flat land. So plains, as the word itself says, something that is flat at the sea level. It is neither below the sea level nor it is above the sea level, and neither it is a very raised level of land. It is exactly in the level of the sea. Therefore it's called plains. So plains are large stretches of flat land, generally not more than 200 meters above the sea level. So you see, it's significant measurement is given to you, generally not more than 200 meters above the sea level. So something that is at the range of 200 meters of sea level is considered as plain land or plains. So generally plains are very fertile. Hence these plains are very thickly populated regions of the world. Compared to the mountainous regions or the plateau regions, you will find more number of people living over here. The population will be quite high in the plain regions because it's very easy to sustain your life over here. All the basic requirements are over here. So generally plains are very fertile. So it is a landform having a lot of alluvial soil inside it, good for farming and cultivation. Therefore, the plains are highly or thickly populated. The example is the largest plains made by the rivers are found in Asia and North America. So these are the two places in the world, Asia and North America, where you will find large plain lands or flat lands. Large plains in Asia are formed by Ganga and the Brahmaputra in India. So rivers play a major role in forming the plain lands, and the Yangtze in China. So these are the three examples where you find the plain lands. So plain regions, Ganga, Brahmaputra and Yangtze are the three rivers which play a significant role in the formation of the plain lands. Well, let us see how useful the plain lands are to human beings. Plains are the most useful areas for human habitation. So human beings can easily start or live in a plain land compared to the hardships that a human being faces in a mountainous region to survive himself or on a plateau. It's very easy for human habitation to live his life on a plain surface or a plain flat land. Therefore, it is very useful for human habitation for the sustenance or the living of the human beings. Building houses, construction of the transport network as well as cultivation is easy. But very well we can understand that it's very easy to build a house or a building or a bungalow on a flat surface, a flat land, compared to a mountainous region. If someone wants to build a house on a mountain, what will happen? He or she can build, but it's very difficult. We have to take all the resources that we need all the way up to the mountain over there, and then it's very difficult to drill inside it, make some space over there, and not only that much, the design would be very complex compared to the plain lands. So building houses, construction of transport network will be difficult in the mountainous regions compared to the plain land. As well as for cultivation is easy. So it will be easy for one to cultivate the land. Farming would be very easy on the plain land compared to the mountainous region or the plateaus. In India, the Gangetic plains are the most densely populated region. Well, this was some information about the different landforms that we learned in the last lecture. A bit of a details was given to you. Let us look into the topic that we are going to learn in today's lecture, that is about the hydrosphere. As the name suggests to us, hydrosphere, which is a compound word, just like we had lithosphere, rocky sphere. This is the sphere of water. Yes, you must have guessed it right. Hydro means water and sphere means layer. So the layer of water. As we already learned that earth is made up of three different things. That is the landform, the solid part, the liquid part and the gaseous part. So let me write this for you. The meaning: hydrosphere. Hydro means water, or I can say the layer of water. So we are going to learn about this today in our discussion. So let's go through the material given to us that you have in your hand. Mother is saying to Dharmin now let me talk to you about hydrosphere. As mother wanted to give the information about what earth is made up of. The hydrosphere is the liquid component on the earth. So you see the underlining given to you, because this is an important thing. So wherever you find underlinings given to you, take extra care to read that part and try to remember that part. It could be an important part of reading. The hydrosphere is the liquid component of the earth. It includes the oceans, seas, lakes, ponds and rivers. Well, we earlier learned that the earth is comprised of 29% of the solid part, that is lithosphere. But the water body or the water part is 71%. Let's read this. On the surface of the earth, the area of water is more than that of the land. So we have got more water compared to land, and that is why sometimes we feel shortage of land for constructing our houses in certain regions, isn't it? India is a very populated country. So in India itself, we can say we've got a lot of shortage of land. But the land surface, if you talk about the entire world, that is the earth, 29% of it is only land and 71% of the entire earth is made of water. So on the surface of the earth, the area of water is more than that of the land. Again, you can see the highlighted part. Hydrosphere covers 71% of the earth's surface. So 71% of the earth is made up of water. A water body in hydrosphere that carries a huge amount of water is known as ocean. So now we'll be understanding about each one of them in details. As we just read generally, that the different forms are oceans, seas, lakes, ponds, rivers and streams. These are all different forms of water. So a large mass of water or a large hydrosphere, a body of hydrosphere which carries a huge amount of water, a lot of water inside it, is known as ocean. These oceans are Pacific Ocean, the Atlantic Ocean, the Indian Ocean and the Arctic Ocean. So we have 4 oceans in the entire world, or the entire water body which we talk about has got oceans. 71% of the earth's part which is made of water contains oceans, and these are the 4 oceans that namely we know. All these oceans are connected with each other. So all these water bodies are not separate, they are connected with each other. It means that if one wants to go from the Indian Ocean to the Pacific Ocean or the Atlantic Ocean or the Arctic Ocean, it is possible for one to do in today's era. So all the water bodies are connected with each other. We have only given them specific names as per the location where we find them. So all these oceans are connected with each other. The water bodies close to the land are known as seas, bays, straits, gulfs, etc. Now one would be wanting to know what is the difference between a sea and an ocean, isn't it? This question may be coming to your mind. So here the answer is given to you. The water body is close to the land. So when you find a big form of hydrosphere, a body of hydrosphere, but it is close to the land, then we say it is the sea. So the difference between sea and ocean is clear to you now. We have bays, straits, gulfs. So you must learn about this also. The oceans on the earth are huge and deep. Valleys with depths of 10 to 11 kilometers are located in their bottom. So see, we are getting to know an important piece of information over here. It is not that only on the land you find mountains. You will find mountains in the bed of the water bodies also, in the oceans also, 10 to 11 kilometers depth. So the ocean of the earth are huge and deep. Valleys with depths of 10 to 11 kilometers are located in their bottom. So there also, if you go in the bottom of the ocean, in the beds of the ocean, in the basin of the ocean, you will find landforms over there. You will find hills and valleys over there. The ocean bed has similar feature like that of the surface of the earth. So all that you see on the surface of the earth, just like the Himalayan mountain range, the mountains, the raised platforms, the plateaus, the plain lands, a similar featured thing can be found in the water also, in the oceans also. Just like you observe, just like you experience or witness the different landforms on the surface of the earth, a similar landform you find in the beneath or in the inside or the bottom of the oceans or in the water bodies. So talking about the oceans over here. So if one dives into the ocean, deep into the ocean, at the bottom of the ocean, you will find these features just like identical you find on the earth. The ocean bed has similar features like that of the surface of the earth. What does it have? It has high mountain plateaus. So it would be surprising to you, isn't it? So we have mountain plateaus on the surface of the earth, and similarly we have in the depths of the ocean as well. Vast plain lands, just like we have got plain lands over here on the surface of the earth where we live, although we don't live in the ocean, but if one visits the ocean, the bottom of the ocean, you will find similar features over there as well. So we have plateaus, vast plain lands, valleys, etc. in the bottom of the ocean as well. So this was the information that mom was trying to provide about the ocean to Dhanvin. Mummy, how much water will there be in the seas? Well, a new curious question came to the mind of Dhanvin, and once again he asked a question to mother. Let us see what is mummy answering, and in turn we are going to understand the same. Since sea water is salty, it is useful to us. Since sea water is salty, it is useful to us. Sea water is salty, though it is useful to us, but not for drinking, but in other purposes. Let us see what is mommy trying to explain. Yes, ocean contains 97% of the total amount of water on the earth. So on the earth, the entire amount of water that you see, 97% is in the ocean. We talked about 71% of the earth is made up of water. And out of the water, 97% is in the ocean. It means the water is salty. 97% of the water that we see out of the 71% liquid or the hydrosphere, 97% is salty. It means it is not a potable form of water. Potable form means we are not able to drink or use it for any kind of purpose. No doubt, these days we have got technology to change salty water into potable form or a drinkable one. Well, that's a different topic we can discuss. So mom was telling to Dhanvin that 97% of the total amount of water present on the earth is in the ocean, and it is useful to us. We know how is it useful to us. The water bodies are used for transportation. It's a great means of transportation, ocean, isn't it? Not only that much, we procure salt when the same sea water, salty water gets dried up. Approximately 1/3 of the remaining water is trapped in the ice caps and glaciers. Well, it is not that this is the only water. We just talked about 97%. So what about the other 1/3 part? 1/3 part of the water is trapped in the glaciers on the mountain. We understood about this when we were learning about the different landform, isn't it? Glaciers. So glaciers is the form of water, the rivers or that form of water that gets frozen over there, and because it's frozen, we are not able to retrieve it or get it. We are not able to use it. You can't use the water as transportation, or not only you can drink it also. It is not a potable form, it is ice. So it gets trapped in the mountain part, approximately 1/3 part. At the poles, Himalayas and other mountainous regions or mountain places. Some water is accumulated in the lakes and some flow in the rivers. Well, some water gets accumulated in the lakes, in the between the two mountains, it gets trapped over there, and some water flows in the rivers, and some is stored in the interior on the earth as groundwater, and some water gets seeped inside or penetrates inside the ground. Well, this water we can procure by drilling bore wells and making wells, and it can be useful for us. Well, the amount of potable water, see the word is given to you, potable, it's highlighted also, fit for drinking. So a water which is fit for drinking is called potable water. A new word for your acknowledgement is less. So we have got very less amount of, less than 1% amount of water is there on the entire 71% of the total hydrosphere that is potable or fresh water for drinking. Fresh water is therefore very, very precious. We can understand this. Hence, we should take a vow not to waste fresh water. Fresh water is precious. This fresh water is required by living beings for their existence, isn't it? Water is an inevitable and inseparable part of our life. We cannot separate the use of water from our life. We require water for so many purposes. Potable water, particularly water used for drinking. Well, this fresh water is required by living beings for their existence. the moisture for rain, which is the main source of fresh water, comes from the oceans only. So ocean plays a great role in the making of this water. The moisture that is required for the rains to fall is procured from the oceans. We know about the water cycle, isn't it? Well, soon I will be showing you an image and we will be discussing about the water cycle as well. Further about the hydrosphere, valuable chemicals, mineral salts, fishes, etc. are found in the sea. Well, we very well know which kind of living creatures live in the sea. All sorts of aquatic animals and fishes live in the sea. So it is their dwelling, it is their place, it is their world. So valuable chemicals, mineral salts, all this is procured from the water. Salt, as we know, is procured from the sea water. As we have living organisms on the land, in the same way the sea and oceans have aquatic life. Just like we human beings live on the land, we exist over here, breathing the gaseous form of oxygen. We need water for our drinking and the other activities that we do. We require land to make our dwellings and keep ourselves protected from the harsh weather conditions. Similarly, there is an entire living world in the oceans or in the river or in the oceans over there. In the same way the seas and oceans have aquatic life, the tremendous force of waves, tides and currents of the oceans are potential source for generating electricity. Just like we understood that the flowing water from the mountains help us to produce hydroelectricity. In the same way, the tremendous water currents or the waves that you experience or that you see in the sea or the oceans taking place gives us the potential or gives us the room for making electricity or generating electricity. So the force of waves, tides and currents of the oceans are potential sources. Well, potential means the thing that has got the ability to make electricity or generate electricity. So it is having that capacity inside. It is a potential source, a source having capacity to do something. So here the force of the waves, tides and water currents or the ocean currents have the potential, have the capacity to generate electricity. Therefore, the oceans are very, very useful to us. Just like the flowing water on the mountain is very useful to us. Similarly, these are also very useful to us. Besides these, oceans are also useful as waterways. The most important and not to forget thing, most of our transportation, that is the cargo transportation that we see, goes through the waterway. It is one of the cheapest form of transportation. Well, you should remember this. So the oceans provide or play a significant role in transporting cargoes and people from one place to another. Well, you've been given the outline map of India. You can see, have a careful observation. You can see the necessary detailings have been done in this. All the markings of the latitude and longitude you can see in this flat form of outline map, and the necessary thing, that is the Tropic of Cancer, Equator and Tropic of Capricorn drawn for you over here. So make use of this map given to you and locate using various colors the oceans, seas, bays and straits in the world map given above. So use this outline map and locate the things inside this map as a part of the homework without fail. So drawing of the map will be today's homework for you. So try to put this. This is one of the homeworks today. So on page 14 you have the activity given to you, and on page 13 you have the map. So we'll take two numbers, 13 and 14. So in 13 and 14 you will be doing the map, outline map. Well, have a look at the image being displayed to you on your screen about the hydrosphere in a bit details, what we understood today. Asking a question to ourselves, what is hydrosphere? The hydrosphere is the combined mass of water found on, under and above the surface of the earth. So we can say that water can be found not just under the earth, but on the surface of the earth, above the surface of the earth, on the mountain ranges, and under the surface of the earth as well. The internal water, that is wells and bore wells. Well, it has been estimated that there are 1386 million cubic kilometers of water on earth. This includes water in the liquid and frozen forms in groundwater, oceans, lakes and streams. Approximately 75% of the earth's surface, an area of some 361 million square kilometers, is covered by ocean. Well, 71% or 75%. In our text it's given 71%, and in the image you can see it is 75. So it's a rough idea approximately. So when approximately used, it can be 71 or 75. Hydrological cycle. The hydrological cycle transfers water from one state or reservoir to another. That is the change of the form of water. Reservoirs include atmospheric moisture, including snow, rain and clouds, streams and oceans, rivers, lakes, groundwater, subterranean aquifers, polar ice caps and saturated soils. Well, you can have a look at the water cycle image being displayed to you. The precipitation, that is the falling of the rain and getting collected over there. Then due to the heat, the water getting evaporated and going up and formation of the clouds. Then finally it gets condensed and again precipitates and gets down and gets collected. So this cycle keeps on going on. Well, the solar energy is the source of heat and light, and gravity causes the transfer from one state to another over periods from hours to thousands of years. Most evaporation comes from the ocean and return to the earth as snow or rain. So water gets evaporated, most of the water gets evaporated from the large water bodies that we refer to as oceans. So most of the rain that we receive on the earth is because of the great evaporation or mass evaporation that has happened from the large water bodies. Well, we know that the streams, rivers and lakes also get dried up due to evaporation, but the majority of the water that goes in the form of the gaseous form is from the oceans. So most evaporation comes from the ocean and is returned to the earth as snow, and we get the same water back either in the form of or in the form of rain. Further, let us look into the importance of hydrosphere. It consists of all bodies of water, icebergs and water vapor in the Earth's atmosphere. Oceans contain 97% of water in the hydrosphere, while rivers, lakes and other water bodies on land and underground contain a small percentage of total water in the hydrosphere. Well, the layer of water or the hydrosphere helps to maintain the hydrological cycle, good means of transport of water. It plays a vital role in balancing the Earth's climate as well. Let us see some hydrosphere facts. The amount of water on the Earth's surface remains constant over time. It means it neither increases nor decreases. This signifies that the amount of water available on the earth today is the same as it was when dinosaurs were roaming on the earth. So you see, this is a hydrosphere fact. 68.7% of fresh water exists in the forms of permanent snow. See, another fact to be known. So we are deprived of such good source of water because it is in a permanent form of snow which we cannot procure. The total amount of water on the earth is about 333 million cubic miles, or we can say 1386 million cubic kilometers. Well, this was some important information that I shared with you about the hydrosphere facts. Let us now talk about the homework that you need to do for today. Come to page number 22, where you have a short note about the hydrosphere. So as a part of homework, you'll be writing this. Write a short note on hydrosphere. and the following points have been given to you as a part of explanation. The definition is given to you, the distribution is given to you. So the contents have been given to you as a part of short note. So write this short note and submit it as a part of homework after the lecture. Note it down. So you have the outline map to be done and the short note about hydrosphere. Well, so I hope the lecture was useful to you. You must have enjoyed the details that I tried to provide to you. See you soon in the upcoming lecture with the next sphere that we will be discussing about, that is atmosphere. Till then, take care. Have a nice day and goodbye.